Hey, what's up, man?
What's up? What's going on?
It's going well. Especially since I got this guy in the mail.
Nice!
It took me forever to find him. Really looking forward to putting him in some, cool poses and take some pictures with him.
Oh, sure.
What was that?
What was what?
That reaction. What was that reaction?
What reaction?
You're, sure.
Nothing. It's nothing.
Just tell me. Spit it.
I can pose my figures better than you.
Hi, I'm Christina Ho. I play Betty on Beast Morphers.
Hi, I'm Abraham Rodriguez, aka AV Baby, aka Nate Silva, aka the Gold Ranger on Beast Morphers.
And follow Cosmic
Protect.
Hi, I'm Christina Ho. I play Betty on Beast Morphers.
Hi, I'm Abraham Rodriguez, aka AV Baby, aka Nate Silva, aka the Gold Ranger on Beast Morphers.
And you should follow Cosmic Protect.
On Patreon.
Hi, I'm Christina Ho, and I play Betty on Beast Morphers.
Hi, I'm Abraham Rodriguez, aka AV Baby, aka the Gold Ranger. Oh, I already messed up my intro.
Hi, I'm Christina Ho, and I play Betty on Beast Morphers.
Hi, I'm Abraham Rodriguez, aka AV Baby, aka Nate Silva, aka the Gold Ranger on Beast Morphers.
And you should follow Cosmic Protectors on Patreon. Yeah.
Here live. I am joined, as always, by Jezza Reyes and Corey Gibson. I am Joe from the Illuminerdi, and tonight we appreciate all of you guys in the chat. We have a lot of you guys right now. Flash, Edward Sanchez, ML Productions. We got our boy Ryan Buetta, I'm sure, from Morphin Network. Want to thank you guys so much for spending your Saturday with us. We know that the world is falling apart around us, especially if you live in Minnesota or anywhere else where there's protesting. So everyone stay safe. That is the number one message for the day. But today, fan appreciation. Jezzer, what does that mean?
It means that we're going to be talking to you guys about what you guys want to talk about, within reason, because we know a lot of you have a lot of the same things that you want to talk about. So within reason, and, we'll be able to monitor that. So someone reached out to us after last week's show, Joe, right, where they said, hey, would you guys ever do a fan service episode? And we're like, why not? Let's do a fan service episode, because like you said, we really do appreciate you guys coming through every Saturday, and we just really hope you guys enjoy the show, and we kind of want to hear how you guys heard about the show, and what do you like about the show, and what do you guys want to see for the show going forward.
Yeah, so we are going to be taking all your questions and comments in the chat. Corey, what kind of questions are you most excited to answer?
Hey, Corey, would you ever be in a Forever Red panel?
No, man, that's tired, bro. Oh, yeah, well, I'm up for whatever. Surprise me.
All right. So, last week there was, I just want to, kick this off a little bit. Last week there was somebody in the chat, I don't remember who it was, but somebody in the chat had, you know what? I probably could find this. They left a comment on our last week's episode saying that we didn't have any Dino Fury news, and literally the next day we dropped some Dino Fury news because we just walked away today. Well, we did drop the character breakdowns. So we could talk about that. We could talk about Dino Fury. We could talk about the future. We could talk about anything you guys want. True AMA. Let's get to it, guys. But before we start, send your questions in on the chat. We appreciate every single one of you. But until we start getting questions, how have you guys been doing during the pandemic?
Is it just me, or is it coming to an end? I think they're starting to open things up again. Or
it feels like it's coming to an end, but the world still feels like a pretty shitty place. Mainly, all this.
It was always a shitty place.
There's police brutality, crazy stuff out there.
Can't live in the bubbles we used to because of the pandemic.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
I don't know, man. it's like, oh, the world's opening up, but you don't necessarily want to go back into the world yet because everything's, you know, shit right now. So I don't know. I mean, I'm fine where I'm at. It's very like, not to get political or anything, but where I live, it's a very diverse place, and so we don't really have to deal with that type of shit that they have to deal with in other states.
Yeah, well, let's start right off in the chat right now. We got Jose Alvarado who says, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here in these times. We appreciate you guys being here in these times and turning to us for your source of entertainment. And that's what we are all about, entertaining you guys and talking Power Rangers. Talking Power Rangers, entertaining, it goes hand in hand. Jezzer, do you want to handle the chat, or Corey? Who wants to handle the chat? Are we just going to kind of rotate it out?
Corey,
Yeah, let's rotate it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jez, why don't you take it on first then?
All right. So somebody says, ML Production says, Joe, how did you find out about the Real Soldier is Power Rangers for 2021? You are so damn good at finding out Power Ranger news.
Oh, good question. Well, I have sources very close to production and Power Rangers. It's how we've been breaking all this news, and I appreciate you saying that. We are, I think, not just me. My whole team is very good at breaking this Power Ranger news. We collaborate with a lot of other folks as well. So it's really a collaborative effort with our team, and that's how we do it. I mean, it's how it comes. And sometimes, like, we have news, and Jezzer and Corey both know this. We have news, even now, we have news that we still haven't broken that's fairly large in Power Rangers, but we're just waiting for the right time. You know that, right, Jezzer?
Yep. It's all about timing, and it's all about reception of how these people get the news. Because, I mean, we've been doing this for how long now? Like 2 or 3 years now, right? Through this outlet, through our past outlets, and it's especially for Power Rangers. It's a very slippery slope as far as what you want to release. For you guys in the chat, what do you guys think about releasing news on Power Rangers? Let's say like how we did with the Ryu Soldier thing, where we were ahead of Saban, or not Saban, but Hasbro and all that. What do you guys think about us releasing news before Hasbro does? What do you guys think?
Great question. I'm going to jump on to another one, and we're going to go this one. This one, I'm going to say it's for Corey. Didn't you guys release Dino Fury news? What outlet is that on? It was right here at the Illuminerdi, right? I just answered your question, Corey.
TheIlluminerdi.com.
Let me ask another question here. Okay, so we got Flash. He says, and this one's for you, Corey. Let's start with Dino Fury. How's casting, and what news you got? I'm going to change that question because I'm not sure if Corey read the article, but let's change that question a little bit. Corey, what kind of archetypes do you want to see in the next season for Dino Fury?
I mean, we already know what type of archetype. How about I just guess what's on the article? Because I know what's there.
Because Corey doesn't read the articles.
Look, I didn't even know I haven't been on the internet, man. I know,
yeah.
And I watch the news, which I shouldn't be doing.
Don't
but anyway,
watch the news, man.
Okay, we got 5 Rangers, right?
Yeah.
So we got the leader.
Okay.
Boring leader guy, probably some King Arthur type of leader. And then we have the Blue Ranger. I would say he's the cool-headed guy. Probably might be the rival of the Red Ranger. Some rival type. And then there's the girl. She's just the girl.
Wow.
You know how they do girls in Power Rangers.
What era do you live in, my friend?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm talking about these writers on these shows. If it was up to me, I would do something different. Then we have the Black Ranger. The Black Ranger is a tough guy, the muscle. And then we have the Green Ranger. He's the youngest of the team. Young, inexperienced, maybe a goofball. Okay. How close was I?
I mean, that's so the way that Power Rangers cast, they cast very generic. So what they do is they'll have like 2 different sets of Rangers that they'll cast for. I think one is Brad and one is Harriet. And it's very generic. It's like athletic male, age between this and this. It's like super generic, and the female is just as generic. So what they do is they gather the Rangers that they want to use, or they group them. So in the final audition, they move you to different groups. So, and they base it all on the Red Ranger. So if they really like a certain Red Ranger, depending on the ethnicity, like let's say a Red Ranger this season happens to be like Asian, right? For Dino Fury. Well, then they'll make sure that they don't have like another Asian female, or they'll make sure that they round out the cast to be pretty diverse. Pretty diverse. But it all depends on what that Red Ranger is going to be. For example, if one of the reasons why I know this from Maverick's experience. So one of the reasons why Maverick didn't get cast for Yellow was because they already had an ethnic Red Ranger, so they wanted to balance it out with somebody that was Caucasian, and that's just what happened. So that is, in a long story short, that's kind of like how Power Ranger casts. Personally, I don't really like that. I don't really conform to that idea. I really like having developed characters first, and then basing that on kind of who you go with.
Well, I think it's kind of funny that they're down to have 2 Caucasian actors, but they won't have it the other way around. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I feel that like in Ninja Steel, when we first got the cast, that was a very diverse cast. The original cast that they had, like before they added Nico, even though I love Nico, but
they had blacks on the team. I was like, what the fuck is this?
super diverse cast. So that kind of, to me, was like breaking the form of Power Rangers in a good way. But I think that everything shook out the way that it did, and it ended up going back to the way it was. So Power Rangers is very formulaic with the way they cast. They really cast based on look, not necessarily based on the characters they're developing. I think all that stuff is kind of done on the fly, which I personally find is a mistake. I think it's a little bit backwards thinking, because everything that I've been doing for Cosmic Protectors is as you know a lot, Corey, I've really like honed in on exactly what I want to do and expanding the universe that way. But that's just the writer, the creativity in me. But let's go back to another question. Corey, why don't you ask one of the questions in the chat? And this one will go to any of us. Jezra, I guess, will answer this one.
Yeah.
Here it is. I'm going to take it from Flash. You guys think there would be a rivalry in Dino Fury between the Red and Black Rangers like in U Soldier? That would be cool.
That'd be cool to have a rivalry or some form of like character development for some of these characters. The one thing I don't want is a Red Ranger that is just, a very bland and boring character like the Red Rangers we've been getting. I think there's got to be a better way to balance out storylines for. It's weird. They only had 5 Rangers on Beast Morphers, and they're still having a hard time balancing out storylines for them. So I don't know what's going on with the writing team, but they need to do better.
Don't they have a writer's room?
They do. So from what I was told, the way that the writer's room kind of works, and this is just what I was told. This is I mean, it's not a news report, but it's just the way that it works, at least in the Chip Lynn era, is that Chip Lynn would have a writer's room. He essentially would dictate how he wanted the story to go, and the writers would fill in the blanks with the scenes that they were given. So he kind of like oversaw what was going on in terms of story, but he wasn't necessarily having an open writer's room. Because Corey, remember the writer's room that you, myself, Toku, and JD and Brandon had? It was very much like laying out the foundations of like what we're doing. I believe his writer room runs a little bit differently than that, at least from what I've been told. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to ask, actually, Jezra, you ask this next question from the chat, and I'll take this one.
Okay, let's see what we got. Come on, just keep hitting us with the questions. The A Games 10 says, you guys seen this recent NZ article about the New Zealand production recasting the Kiwi New Zealand actors? One of the shows mentioned in the article was Power Rangers. I didn't read that article. I didn't I don't really look too much into New Zealand news because I don't live in New Zealand. So, Corey, what do you think about that? About recasting New Zealand actors?
I mean, it depends, because if they're trying to play American and they can't pull it off, it's kind of distracting.
Hey,
just like when they have the kid actors there, and their accent is just this weird twang of New Zealand and American English, and it's just like, what's this kid saying?
Tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like after they get the actors to say their lines, I feel like they'll dub over them with somebody else's voice.
Sometimes I noticed that, yeah.
Yeah.
They did that back in '93 with in Mighty Morphin. They dubbed over some actors' voices, and it was the same person.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids for some reason.
Yeah, they'll dub over a lot of people's voices when it, not like main characters, but characters that they have like little extras or whatever in there, and then they'll dub a voice, and it'll sound really off, and it doesn't match up with the.
They will dub over main characters because they dubbed over Brendan Mejia's dad James in his whole season because his Kiwi accent was too thick. And I remember them telling me, I don't remember if it was Yoshi or Brennan telling me that like they didn't know until I told them, and one of the other ones told me that like they brought him in for a chemistry test, and like his accent was too thick, so they just dubbed it over with somebody else.
So I mean, then what's the point? Like, why not hire somebody else? I mean, you're already halfway through casting. You might as well pick someone that you know can do the job, right?
You would think, but maybe it's just achieving the look, I guess. But who knows? Yeah. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take the next question. We got Lyrical 8710. Do you think we will see the comics introduce the Ninja Rangers from season 3 or hint at the Zeo Crystal anytime soon? Corey, what do you think?
You already got the Zeo Crystal. It was in the whatchamacallit, Beyond the Grid. There's a whole I almost spoiled it. Obviously didn't read it, but yeah, we already did Zeo Crystal.
All right.
Did you guys see those Dark Rangers?
Yeah, I seen the Dark.
We didn't talk about that.
I was like, oh, hey, that's cool, but then at the same time, I was like slightly disappointed because I was expecting like.
You're expecting those the Z ones from the series?
I mean, they are those, but then they're not those.
No, the one with the shitty ass Power Ranger suits.
The ski masks.
The Sentai Power Ranger suits.
Can we make that canon? Please put that back in there. Shit, just put that back in there. Put it in the comic.
I wanted to see cooler versions of those. That's what I was hoping.
I actually like the low key shitty versions of those costumes. Like, I want to see people cosplay as those.
I'll cosplay that. I'll cosplay the hell out.
Do it.
I'll make it look cool as fuck.
Do it. I could see Corey cosplaying. I could see him cosplaying Ninja Jason from the TMNT crossover.
Really? Oh, thought about it.
You did. I
was thinking about it. I was like,
I knew you were thinking about it. I was like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
Corey, take the next question. Go.
Oh, dang. There was a question here I seen. Do you guys think that Boom will adapt another MMPR Ranger to be some type of evil version of themselves, like in the Dragon world?
And that was from Kevin Epley.
Yes.
Great question. Jezzer, you want to take it?
Maybe. I know that Drakkon's getting another comic book run. I can't. What is it? Do you guys remember what it was called? But they might introduce maybe not a Ranger, but maybe other characters into it. Maybe we'll get to see a little bit more of how Finster 5 got to be Finster 5, or maybe we'll see the fall of Ranger Slayer. But yeah, maybe we'll see more characters from that universe and see where, because they've touched on it a little in comic books and series like here and there, but they haven't had like a full series of just the what had happened from Jason dying to Kimberly and all that, and what happened to everybody else. I think that we'll probably, I don't know if we'll get another evil Ranger, but we'll get another evil entity coming out of that.
Great answer. By the way, I don't know why when you were talking about it just sparked in my head. It's my birthday next Friday.
Oh man.
Oh, it's old man.
I know, but we can't do anything is the worst thing. I feel like we should do some type of like Zoom cocktail meetup or something.
I'm drinking right now. I got my rum and coke. Mm-hmm.
I'm literally
do something just in the confines of low numbers,
Yeah.
That's
we can't go to a place, but I mean,
so you can invite 8 people. You have to choose 8 people. Of all the people you want to hang out with, you can only choose 8, and that's still within the confines of the regulations that they have set in place.
Sanitize, take temperatures before entering.
Yep, you got that
Yeah, right.
temperature.
Have somebody stand outside and take temperatures. Or
Yep,
something?
hand
Gotta
sanitizer
screw everybody
everywhere.
before they come
You
in.
know, if you put Joe on the spot, if you were to pick 8 people, who would it be out of the whole group? 8 single people. This is like a
8
freaking
out of the whole people, not including myself. Why 8, not 10?
because I think 8 is the max people you can have in a gathering.
I thought it was 10.
Pretty sure it's 8, but maybe. Okay, so 10. We'll give you 10. 10. That's 10 including you, so 9 other people.
Okay,
Drakkon New Dawn is the name of the comic series.
Thank you.
I would say I would choose the 2 of you.
Okay.
Josh.
It's 3.
L.
Okay, 4.
Shay.
5.
JD.
6.
Migdalia.
7.
Stephanie.
Oh, yeah, I was like, you haven't said Stephanie yet.
Let's see. 2 more. Did I say L?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, Brandon.
Okay.
And 1 more. Tatiana.
Okay. No Brax?
I feel like I'm leaving. Well, Brax lives in like San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean,
so that makes it a little bit easier.
I felt like there was only 10 of us last year, right? How many of us were there last year?
It was you, me, Migdalia, Tatiana, Stephanie, Josh,
Tony.
Oh, Tony would have Tony too. Oh, and Daniel. I completely forgot.
Daniel came super late. Oh my gosh, that was a fun night.
I don't know, man. It's so hard. It's so hard to pick just 10 people.
Okay, let me find another question in here. Hold on. Flash.
Thank you for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate it.
Flashflash says, "You guys excited for MMPR issue 50? Been waiting forever. Can't wait to see how it turns out. The show turns out. My B day. It'll be a great day."
Yeah, you know what? Something that we're starting up new, and I'm sure you guys have already seen it on the channel. Our channel's shifting a little bit, you might say. Jezer, myself, and Migdalia are really spearheading how our channel runs. Obviously, you Power Ranger fans are the lifeblood of the channel, but we are expanding. One thing we're dropping is exclusives, which I'm sure you guys have seen throughout the week, but something else that we're going to start incorporating is going to be those Power Ranger comic reviews and comic reviews in general by Brandon and Bryce from our website. So we're going to start including videos from them about the comic, and because we luckily do get the comics early. But yes, man, I am hyped. I can't wait for us to do when the comic comes back, when that issue 50 drops. I think we're planning out to do like a big comic episode of the Ranger wrap up, right, Jezer?
Yeah, some form of that, a comic book based one. I have to be honest. I do have to catch up on a lot of the.
You and me both.
Yeah,
I just finished 31 today. I read 31. It was fine.
I dropped off after the Solar Ranger thing because I wasn't interested in the Solar Rangers whatsoever. I thought it was gonna be a cool story because it's just like a group of random hodgepodge Rangers. But then I think the thing that threw me off was the art style is what threw me off. It just.
I also think that Marguerite Bennett with the Solar Rangers was in a no-win position because it's very hard going from like Shattered Grid, the biggest Power Ranger event in history, to like being the follow-up of that. Yeah. Like I honestly do think that Ryan Parrott really benefited by not being the next person up, because I felt like it was always going to be hard for that next person to follow in those footsteps. And Marguerite Bennett, to her credit, I like the fact that she chose completely different Rangers to like really spearhead her Power Ranger team. I thought that was very ambitious, but in execution, the story is very convoluted.
Definitely.
There was a lot of holes. I remember she mentioned something about the Solar Ranger had some kind of musical tone, and she was going to explain what the notes are and what it meant, and that never came back up.
It never really come back up?
Why do you think that is? All right, I got another question here. It's from ML Productions. It says, Joe. Oh wait, no, we already read that one. Let me see.
By the way, 35 live viewers, guys. 35 live.
We have a little running bet to see how many we got. We're not gonna tell you our numbers, but if you guys have other Power Ranger fans, let them know that we got a live stream going on just for you guys, and send them in so I can win.
I really do appreciate all your birthday wishes, even though it's next Friday. So you can wish me happy birthday next Saturday on the Ranger wrap.
Okay, here's one. So you guys heard about the new rumored Lightning Collection figures. I heard about Psycho Rangers 5-pack and Dino Thunder White waiting for Dino Thunder figures. Yes, we did. I was talking to the guys about it just before the show. What do you guys think about that?
Well, all right. So let's break this down one by one. So all the figures they say were revealed. So obviously it's a Dino or a Psycho Ranger 5-pack, and just the white Dino Thunder Ranger. Is that it?
This isn't part of the regular wave. So this
Well, what's Wave 6 then? Or we already know Wave 6, right? That's the red Zeo Ranger, the black MMPR,
and Space
yellow
Yellow.
Space, and like Goldar, right?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
some form of Golar. I'm still hoping that it's going to be Golar from the Dino crossover. I think it's going to line up perfectly when they release it. I saw also, side note, I also saw that Power Rangers Australia on Facebook released news when they're going to be showing their first episode back from hiatus, and it's actually next week. So they're going to be releasing the episode next week, and they usually the day of they release the video on Facebook. It stays up for about a day, so we might get a jump on the hiatus just before summer officially hits. And are you guys excited about that?
Yeah, I feel like Power Rangers just went off the air though.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's live streaming on YouTube on the Power Rangers. Beast Morphers on the Power Rangers YouTube channel.
Yeah, they're actually releasing some original content on that Power Rangers YouTube channel, which is, finally, it's not great content, but finally they're doing something with it rather than just showing 2-minute clips from the whole amalgam or the whole series of Power Rangers. It's like that's.
But what are they doing with it?
Latest one they had was a. Did you see it, Corey? The latest one they had was a Play-Doh dance-off with Play-Doh characters and Beast Morpher characters. And
I didn't see that. I've seen another one. They put all the
box,
the intros together, and they sped it up, and it's all chipmunk wacky. I was like, why?
No, see, that's lazy as shit. That is lazy.
See, the one that I saw, and I do know what you're talking about now. I saw that they were like doing these, those like they do it on Vanity Fair where they have like a box and they have to reach in and touch it. And like I saw they were doing that with the Beast Morphers cast.
Yeah, see, we do that. We've been doing that with those type of games with Power Rangers for a long time. Now you guys are taking note. Okay, Power Rangers, just give us the frickin' YouTube channel. We'll revamp it for you.
No joke. That was honestly like I was talking with you guys about this, or at least Jezzer, that my goal was to make like the Talking Dead for Power Rangers on the Power Ranger YouTube channel. But
we'll build a set. We'll get the live audience. We'll do all that. All you guys got to do is just give us the password and username, and then we'll run that shit. We'll run.
We may as well just do it when everything like opens back. We may as well just do it for us.
Yeah, we might as well.
And then just get it and like pull a John Krasinski and then sell it to them.
No, you know what? So have you guys started your trials for HBO Max?
I have. I have a Fire TV, like the Fire Stick.
Mm-hmm.
The app isn't on Fire Stick. I get it for free because I have a AT&T Unlimited plan. Oh. So I get HBO Max for free. But I haven't been able to access it because they haven't made a contract with Amazon.
Yeah, I get Max for free. So I mean, I haven't really used it yet, but I have it.
Well, so what I was getting at with this is there is Elmo has a late night talk show on there. It's like a regular talk show. It's like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or whatever, but it's Elmo, and it's called the Not So Late Show. I want to start a freaking like late show, a Power Rangers late show, and I think that's
shit. That's what I've been trying to do for like.
Dude, we'll have, you know what? Like Joe, you be the host. I'll be like what's that dude's name from?
Like Andy Richter?
No. I'll be like David Letterman's dude. Like I'll have like
Paul Schaefer?
I'll have just a guitar, and then I'll have like things playing in the back. Like we don't need real drums. I just use pads.
You just have a soundboard?
Yeah, And
that's actually a pretty good idea.
Paul Schaefer, and then we get a couch. It'll be dope. It'll be fucking.
We got a question though. We sidetracked there for a second. Jose Alvarado says, is Iris Hampton still working for them too, or did she quit with Chip? she is still working with them. She is casting Beast Morphers Dino Fury currently. So yeah, she's still working with them. I know that they were holding off on live auditions for the next week or two, but I know that she is still casting people. By the way, we're at 41 views now, so
Nice,
Corey, you're getting
nice.
closer.
Hey, we got our buddy from across the pond, Heirloom. He says, "Do you think that they bring out the 5-pack of Psycho people people would be annoyed as they started releasing them on their own?" Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd rather get it in a 5-pack and be done with it. I don't like hunting down singles. If they gave it to me in packs, I'll buy the pack and just be done with it.
I'm with Corey on that.
Listen, Walmart is releasing a NECA Casey Jones and Raphael figure, and I'm pissed off. It's like, just release the freaking Casey Jones figure. I have a Raphael. I don't need a 2-pack and have 2 random Raphaels, man. Yeah.
You gotta admit, it's a smart business model, though.
It's the same thing with freaking Zed and Rita, man. Just release a Rita figure and like add Finster or Babu or some shit.
If parts start to wear, you can part swap on your figures. That's what I do.
But see, the thing is, it's too convenient. Like, that's the thing. Like, the reason why they do it is to make money and without having to make extra sculpts. I think it's smart. It's just the way the business is. It does suck for us as consumers.
True.
But,
True.
you know, it is the way that it works. Like, I honestly think that when the way that they're releasing the Gold Ranger, the Gold Zeo Ranger, is pretty smart, because I thought to myself, like, you know, if they would have just released the Gold Ranger by itself, I wouldn't have bought that. But now that they have the stupid tray head in it, I'm gonna buy it.
I'm not buying it.
You know what I mean?
You gotta buy 3 of them.
No, I'm not buying 3 of them.
It is smart, but like, I feel that it's such a shitty thing to do. Like, if you're a company, to do that with people, but like, you know, I get it. It's about making money. So me personally, yeah, it sucks that they're gonna come out with the 5-pack of Psycho Rangers, mainly because now, I mean, granted, I got Leo in that 2-pack, so that's fine. But like, I wouldn't have bought the blue Psycho Ranger had I known that.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't.
I wouldn't have bought it either. I
wouldn't have bought Lord Zed either. And Jezer's right about that. Like, I wouldn't have bought Lord Zed either had I known that. So I almost think that now I'm gonna not buy the current like Wave 6. I'm gonna wait till Wave 7 comes out, because that way I'm gonna see if they're gonna redo figures that I don't need.
Oh, you know what pissed me off? If they did this, so like they release a Rocky figure, an Aisha figure, and an Adam figure, and it's just a different head versus like when they release Zach, Trainee, and Jason. It's just a different head sculpt.
I almost guarantee you they're gonna do that. Like, I will almost guarantee you they release the Stone Canyon trio with the regular Power Ranger suits with a different head. Like, it'll be like Rocky's Zeo head sculpt, because they're gonna be lazy.
Oh god. Oh my god. That's gonna piss me off. That's gonna piss me off. But we got Wave 6. I'm excited for the Tracy Lynn figure.
Me too. Huge fan of Tracy.
You think she'd be down? Hopefully, when it comes out, it'll be a little bit more lenient as far as how many people could bring in. You think she'd be down to do a little special appearance at our local comic book shop?
100%, man. I love Tracy to death. She is. Her and Javier are 2 of my favorite people in this whole community. I love both of them.
My favorite.
You're gonna tell the Tom Cruise story, aren't you? You're gonna say the Tom Cruise.
There is a night. It was Saturday of one Comic-Con, and we just left the sci-fi party, and Joe's like, we gotta meet up with Javier at this place. We gotta go to this place. I'm not trying to do your voice, because I don't know how to do your voice. It's and then we were finding the place. It was funny because we were looking for the place, and as we were going, there's like some lady getting out of an Uber, right? And she left the door open or something. She left the door open or something happened, and then like the car started driving away, and then she just like ate it on the ground. Like, what the fuck is going on out here? Like, dude,
hard.
Like downtown San Diego, like during Comic-Con, is the funniest shit in the world. So we go up to this bar. It's probably what, like 2:00. It's almost 2:00. So we're trying to get into the bar. The bouncer's like, nah, man. Last call was just 30 minutes ago. Can't let you.
Well, wait. Let me back up a second. So she ate it, and then remember the dude like helped her up, and then like he was like, you know, like and he was like being all nice, and he was like, hey, can I get your number? And she was like, no. And we were like, damn.
And
just
then
started laughing.
Yeah,
at him.
I yelled, "Not gonna happen, bro!" And then he was like, he got all like aggro on us, and one of our friends like, he was coming up to us, and one of our friends like, "You want to fight? You want to fight, motherfucker?" Like, shit was going down that night. It was crazy. But we got to the bar, and Joe was trying to get in. We were trying to get in. They wouldn't let us in. And then we saw Javier, with Tracy's husband, come. Like, he went up to the bouncer. He's like, no, let him in. He's cool. Like, he had some power or something. Like, he's cool. He picked up his phone, and you had just did your Tom Cruise thing for Mission Impossible, right? He picked up his phone, went on the website, and showed an interview. He's like, that's him. He's right there with Tom Cruise. And I was just like, Joe, it's not happening. Let's just go. And he was so adamant about trying to get us in. And we're like, man, another night.
Didn't we end up going to like a hookah bar or something with him?
No, he was trying. I think that's what the bar was. He was trying to get us into, but then they closed a certain time or whatever. I don't know, man. It's fucking crazy. That guy is hilarious.
I'm gonna ask a question from Darth Baca.
Okay.
Says, would you guys like to see a comic book series just featuring the Omega Rangers? Corey, what do you?
They already have that.
Yeah.
We already got it.
Fuck.
But would you want to see an ongoing for that?
I think the story's played out, right? Like it
Yeah, I mean, it's done. I mean, unless they choose new Omega Rangers, so I wouldn't want to see the same Jason Statham training. You know, their story is done. Once this wrap up, there would be no place to put it in that timeline, so you have to go into the future. You know.
Yeah.
Jezer, Jose Alvarado, he says, who's your favorite Ranger of all time?
Of all time.
That's actually a good question for all of us.
Yes, of all time.
So I can shit on Corey for the next 45 minutes.
Damn, of all time, bro. That is a tough one.
Oh, dang, this Psycho Blue is $4. I'm going to hit this up.
If it's still there.
It's still here.
Of all time, I would say Billy. Billy from MMPR.
Ooh, good fucking option.
Listen, like, let's say we're in a Power Ranger team, and, you know, we're doing our thing, we're doing this. Towards the end of MMPR, he was doing all this shit because he was the only one that didn't get shrunk down to a teenager. He was doing all this shit.
Down to a teenager, but then he was the first one to himself back to normal.
He was doing all this shit. Like, he was, like, just taking the back seat the whole fucking time. And, like, dude, like, Tanya came in, just became the Yellow Ranger. And he was like, it's just like, dude, like, I've been here the whole time. But he never complained. He never did any. He literally never complained. When Tommy took over the team or whatever, and they had like the switch off, he never complained. He's like, I've been here longer than Tommy. I should, just based on seniority, I should be a higher rank within the Power Ranger team. He never complained. He was just a team player, he was a facilitator, and I think that people like that don't get enough praise. And I think,
is it fair to say that Billy's the Derek Fisher of the Power Ranger team? No,
Billy would be the Luke Walton of the Power Ranger team. Yeah.
It's interesting because I actually think about I thought about this just when I was watching that Justice League War thing. I was telling you guys about this off air. Because if you had a Superman for Power Rangers, I think that would be JDF, right? He would be the Superman of Power Rangers. And if you had a Batman of Power Rangers, initially I thought, well, that would be Jason. But it's not. I think the Batman for Power Rangers is actually Billy.
Billy. Definitely. He makes all the gadgets. He kind of like runs things at the team level. Yeah, definitely Billy.
And I also think he has the best story arc in Power Ranger history out of all Rangers. I think Billy has he clearly started off as a very stereotypical, like, for the sake of saying, nerd in Power Rangers, and then he grew. He had an actual story arc where he actually grew into being comfortable with himself and wearing that almost as a badge of honor.
Dude, he made it to a varsity football team, man.
Like, honestly, Billy is one of the best Power Ranger story arcs ever. That's a great choice, Jezer. What do you say, Corey?
Do we even have to ask? Look behind him, man.
Right?
Don't ask me that question.
What's the answer, bro? What's the answer, dude?
I don't want to answer this question. Next topic.
I think my favorite Power Ranger of all time is, and I think this is pretty clear.
Best friend.
Huh?
Your best friend.
No, my favorite Power Ranger of all time is myself in Cosmic Protectors. No, I'm just kidding. My favorite Power Ranger of all time is the Phantom Ranger, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly because it's so shrouded in mystery that I think that there's so much conjuncture of what the story was supposed to be with the character that I think that, like, in all honesty, the legend of the Phantom Ranger is actually more important than the actual character himself, and I find that quite fascinating. Like, the character was only in, like, a handful of episodes, but I think there's more legend behind that character than anything else. My second, actually, though, would be the Magna Defender pre-Mike.
Pre-Mike? Oh, yeah.
Frickin' such a cool storyline. One of the best storylines Power Rangers.
Because he's a freaking cowboy. He's fucking Clint Eastwood, man. He's the shit, bro. He is the shit. Yeah. He's like, I must complete my duty and avenge my son.
That was a great question. I love that question. All right, so some of you guys, by the way, we're doing all fan questions, so anything you guys want to know, hit us up in the chat. Yeah. But some of you guys answer that question yourselves. Flash said his favorite Ranger is Scott Truman, the red RPM Ranger, Ranger Series Red.
Favorite.
We got Jared Hodges. He says Jack from SPD is his favorite Ranger. Great choice. I love Jack from SPD. Kawaku, I hope I said that right, Kawaku, says Will Allendale and Becca Barnsley Power Rangers. I don't know. So, yeah, we got Jared Hodges. Doggy Kruger's his second favorite. We have a question now. Do you think TJ and Cassie should have gotten together? And that's from one of our very own writers, The Blurred. Jonathan. What do you think? What says you, Corey?
Corey says no. Corey says no.
There was nothing between them. I don't understand.
They had that long bus ride, man. They had that long bus ride. They were chilling, getting some souvenirs at that one shop, and they kind of like,
trying on sunglasses.
Yeah, let's get off this bus and save those two random people that need help.
Quick question about that, real quick. So, and I just want to talk about the TJ and Cassie element to this because you bring up a great question, Jezer, just by accident. But I felt like in the Passing of the Torch episode, they weren't necessarily trying to write TJ and Cassie as high schoolers because they were on a bus from another city and they both had different career dreams. One, TJ was saying he's going to go stay with his uncle to go play baseball, and Cassie was going on this bus to become a singer. Neither one of them mentioned anything about high school. So do you think the high school change happened last minute, mainly because the formula of Power Rangers was so successful of them being in high school?
Wait, I can't remember.
Now that you mention it, the Rangers were graduating.
Right.
So I guess they kind of wrote themselves in the corner and be like, oh, man, because then they have to write those stories about them playing baseball and being a singer.
Yeah.
And they got this high school set they can still use,
Do you almost feel, though, that singer stuff that they tried to use for Cassie? Like, they mentioned that Cassie wanted to be a singer, and I think that in Turbo, she did have that one episode that was dedicated to that when she joined the rock band. I just remember the song being really catchy, like
Confusion.
But I remember that there was like a song that they did that, but like I felt like that was kind of like lingering plot threads that they may have had for Tanya.
Ooh.
That had Tanya would have stuck around, they would have went into that direction with Tanya.
I thought she wanted to play baseball.
Well, Tanya did do baseball, but remember she was also a singer in Zeo.
Oh, yeah.
Remember because she was about to get the record contract and everything.
Do you guys remember? Was it Samurai where the Gold Ranger and the Pink Ranger had like a band or some shit?
You know what? Honestly,
in the Halloween episode when they got zapped into something.
No. They had a band. They had a band with the Pink Ranger's little brother, and then they reused that footage in like Megaforce, and they all like watched the same concert or some shit. It was crazy. Yeah, they reused that shit. That was funny.
But do you think though that was a last minute change to put TJ, Cassie back in high school? As we know that Carlos was probably still in high school, and so was Ashley.
Yeah, because that's where they met the other Rangers.
Right.
Yeah. Dude,
just quite fascinating.
that must have been a weird dynamic, like Carlos and Ashley just being, townies the whole time, and see, already used to all the shit with the Power Rangers and everything. Like, oh shit, Power Rangers are going, like, fights going down in the city, buildings are falling down, and then you get put into this group with two newbies, and you have, like, on top of, like, trying to incorporate them back into your, like, friend group or whatever, you also have to, like, band together and be like a team, be a team. And then the only veteran that you have on the team is some fuckhead Justin over
Little
here.
boy.
Fuckhead Justin over here doesn't give a shit about nothing. And like the whole dynamic, it actually makes sense why they're the team that let the freaking power chamber like just go, like, just get demolished and blown to the ground, because they were just way out of the league. There is no, like, on the job training from there's definitely no on the job training from when when Tommy and Kat and all of them left, because I mean the only person they could look to for, like, training or on the job training is Justin, who's a fucking kid that he literally can't
get to ask questions the whole time. She
Yeah.
didn't say nothing to nobody.
yeah,
I actually find that as to be quite a fascinating story element, Jezer, because I almost want to see a Power Ranger team where, because you make a great point. Like, they were thrown together as 5 people that have to, like, integrate into a friend group with each other. I almost want to see a season where they're not friends at all, and they have to keep doing this, and then they have to become friends over time. I think that's more of an interesting story to me.
Well, that was mostly the movie, the 2017 movie.
Right, exactly right. Like, I think that's interesting, where they have their own set of friend groups, and they kind of just have to kind of do it. I think, but you make a great point about how, it does make sense. It would be TJ's team to have the power chamber destroyed, because there is no on-the-job training. That's a great point. Like, that, I think that's interesting. Another interesting thing I think about those Rangers is how different that team could have been, mainly with all the characters they had set up in Zeo to possibly take over for the Rangers had they decided to leave, because they were building, like, Zeo was really building out the world of Power Rangers. You had Raymond. You had Sean, Tanya's ex-boyfriend. You had Veronica, who was a part of that, like, Angel Girls Club. You had all these. You had David Trueheart, Tommy's brother. You had all these different characters that they could have, like, really filled out the roles to being the next Rangers, but they never went in that direction.
Yeah, definitely. I think. So correct me if I'm wrong. So the departure of Johnny Young Bosch and Nakia and Kat and Jason David Frank, that was pre-planned from the get-go?
No, so there's a great article I have about this on our website at The Illuminerdi. But I interviewed JDF, and he was telling me that the way that it happened was that he wanted to leave the show, and they pretty much said, okay, can you stick around for like 10 episodes or whatever it was? And he was like, yeah, but they pretty much told him, if you're going to leave, though, we're going to get rid of the rest of the cast. And I guess at the time, the rest of the cast didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
To the point where if you look at some of our old interviews, they told Johnny to grow his hair out because he was going to become the leader of the Power Rangers. But then something changed, and then they got rid of the whole cast, or not the whole cast because Justin stayed, but got rid of those 4 and brought in new blood because they thought it was going to revitalize the show. Granted, Turbo's ratings were slipping a lot, and also JDF. If you actually go back and watch Turbo, he's not in it very much.
No.
He does the ADR stuff, but him physically, he's not there a lot.
That's crazy. That is crazy. That's crazy to think.
Yeah.
I mean, even like looking back at like the second half of season 2 of MMPR, like I didn't realize how many episodes it was just Billy, Kimberly, and Tommy. Like,
I know, it's like they were gone.
dude, like it was a lot of just Billy, Kimberly, and Tommy centric episodes. The Rangers would be there, but they'll be fighting, and then the 3 other Rangers will pop in already morphed, and then you just like, dude, what the fuck? Like what the fuck? What the fuck?
I know. I almost wish there was an episode explaining like how there's a friction between like the two sets of groups.
Yeah.
But that would have been interesting.
Doing Omega Ranger stuff. Didn't you know?
Yeah.
I know now they're touching on it, but I also think that like credit to the editor because that's a hell of a task. Being like, hey, we lost 3 of our primary cast members. You're gonna have to edit around this and put in and find old spots to put in to fill in for the episode. The Rangers. That would have been a hell of a task.
Sometimes it was almost unnoticeable. Other times it's real bad, and sometimes like, hey, they did a good job. Tommy wearing green, but I didn't even notice.
I know,
we're
right?
kids,
I
man.
remember them taking lines from like other episodes. I was like, dude, they did a pretty good job.
They took
of
scenes.
splicing together things.
They took
Huh?
scenes. They took scenes from other episodes. The episode where they switched off, they were sitting and having a picnic. That was from another episode. Literally another episode. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. The editor had probably been going through the past season and a half of like of footage, and it's like, you know what, we could use this. This is like very, very unnoticeable. And you know what it's like? It goes back to a great example of this is have you guys seen the movie The Island with Ian McGregor and Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a scene where Ian McGregor and Scarlett Johansson are escaping in a car on the freeway. They took that scene, they used it for the third Transformers film, like Shia LaBeouf's last Transformers film, and they just reused the same footage and then just CGI'd Transformers in it. And they just reused the footage, and no one even batted an eye. No one even
The
noticed.
third movie?
Yeah, the third movie. There's the third movie where there's like these these Jamaican SUV Transformers chasing them down. That whole scene was from The Island, and I was like, wow.
Oh, in the white car?
In the white car, yeah. It was crazy.
Oh, man.
It's
Well,
crazy.
same thing with that movie Life. When the rocket ship's crashing down to Earth, like they took that from Spider-Man 3, the crowd scene.
Oh man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is great.
Heirloom says JDF mentioned that he wanted to get Saban to meet the cast, or he would leave. Saban said he wouldn't, and JDF went back and said that he was fired.
Yeah, like it's pretty much how it went down. I remember him telling me, I wish I still had the audio. I might actually.
Wait, which maybe do I have it? What year was this?
Nah, it's on my phone. I think it's on my phone.
Okay.
Oh no, it would be on my computer. It happened probably like a few months. I don't know, like 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. But anyway, what happened was that that's pretty much, long story short. That's pretty much what happened. Is that it was about meeting the cast and crew. And JDF said that, like, you know, he was pretty much done anyway. And I remember him saying something to the effect of like, he had a lot of responsibility because he, like, essentially, like the other three that would be essentially fired, it was technically going to be blamed on him. And he was like, well, you know, he has to do what was best for him then.
Yeah.
So
And I
he
think
left.
I think what a lot of fans don't understand is like when Rangers leave, you have to do what's best for you, 100%. Like at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you, and a lot of people get shit because, you know, I don't know. A lot of people get shit because
It's a video photos, but I don't think it is.
you have an obligation to the series. It's kind of like, this is kind of off topic. What do you guys think about the whole like Ruby Rose leaving Batwoman thing?
That's crazy. You got to recast your main actor.
You know what?
Then think about all the flashback footage they need to reshoot between her and her lover. You know, I'm just thinking about the logistics.
I haven't even watched the series. I've watched the first episode.
Neither.
I watched the first. And the
I've
first
been
episode,
watching it. It's not.
the
not
first episode
great.
was just like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm done.
Here's the thing. If it's for her mental health, I'm all for it. But at the same time, I feel like you should know as a person what you're capable of and what you're not. And if you didn't realize that job was going to be that taxing on you, you shouldn't have taken it.
Yeah.
And I think it really just comes down to that. I understand. I feel like, I don't know. I get like having like, you know, it's better for her mental health to not be on that show. But at the same time, I feel that like that's an opportunity that other people would have died for, and that she just kind of ruined it for them. So it's either here or there. I really can't state the opinion because I'm not Ruby Rose.
Yeah, it's nice to know that the creators aren't just gonna act the whole show, and they're gonna like try to continue on. But yeah, I mean that goes the same for like the Power Rangers. I know a lot of people. I've seen like, listen, I have like these the Power Ranger Facebook groups like just on my feed a lot, and they'll come up some articles or some like posts where like they'll say, oh man, Austin St. John and them like ruined the whole dynamic of the show. They should have just like sucked it up and whatever, did this and did that. When it comes down to it, I mean,
you're just trying to get paid.
yeah, I mean, you're not like that. Like you're not trying to just get paid, but you're trying to get the right pay. Like
Yes, yeah.
what's due to you. And I understand the opposite side of it, where you sign a contract, especially if you're not, if you're young and you got fresh legs within the business. You don't usually know how Hollywood works. You're not partnered up with a good manager, or you don't know that. Let's set up like a renegotiation at a certain time, so that you're not stuck in like a very like, terrible contract. Well, I understand. I understand both sides, but I don't understand why fans posting about it, and there's a bunch of like people responding to it, and them not understanding that aspect of that, or that
like they're obligated to play this character. Or something.
that aspect of that side, which goes again to. I saw some articles saying, "Oh, yay, great! JDF reached his Kickstarter fund for that Legend of the White Dragon thing. Great, another ego thing from." I was like, "What are you guys talking about? Would you rather have someone not trying to enhance your experience or your Power Ranger universe, something that a lot of these fans enjoy and talk? Would you rather not have someone try to enhance that? Would you rather them just like, I understand there's a lot of people that are just like burnt out from all these fan films and stuff, but like everybody that has put their money into it understands the risk. Anybody that's invested in anything understands the risk. And I personally think that Aaron and JDF are going to release a movie. I don't think it's going to come down to be a Michael Copan thing or the Order thing, or it's not going to be that. I know I can see that Corey's grinning right now. It's not going to be that, because I know, dude, I've been following Superhero Beatdown and Band in the Sun for a long time, and they do so much with so little. The guy Joe, the guy we were working with, the guy I was working with last Comic-Con, Damien, the whole time, dude, he was super enthusiastic about working with Aaron. He's super enthusiastic about all that. There's no doubt in my mind that we're gonna get something out of this, and I think that the fans that are just like shitting on it and like, saying it's a huge ego trip. No, he's bringing you something that the actual franchise won't bring you. For all we know, it might not even be Ranger related whatsoever. It'd be Ranger-esque, but it won't be Power Rangers.
Fire.
Yeah, so I think honestly,
I have an interesting take on that, actually. So for all those fans that are out there complaining about it, there is one simple solution, though. In order for you to like maybe not complain about it, don't fucking watch it. I mean, if you're that upset for people doing stuff that they care about, just don't fucking watch it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I applaud people taking a risk on themselves and doing things outside of the box. I think it's pretty cool. Wow, there's comments are flowing heavy. Jezza, why don't you pick one out?
Okay, Joe, would you remove the comedic duo from Power Rangers? In my opinion, we don't need that. It's cool to have some comedy, but there's funny and too much funny. Don't hate me. What do you think?
Do I feel the need? Well, first of all, I don't feel like there's the need to have a comedic duo. I feel like that you should just organically have that with whatever characters you kind of create in the show, whether that be a duo, one person, one of the Rangers, two of the Rangers. It should be organic. I think that Power Rangers relies so heavily on the nostalgia of MMPR that they replicate it to a T. What that means is they're trying to get a Bulk and Skull gimmick in every season, every single season. If you look at some of the better seasons, they don't have that. There is no Bulk and Skull type character.
Yeah.
If you go ahead and look at something like, and I give it a lot of criticism, but Time Force, there's no Bulk and Skull type of character. Go look at RPM, no Bulk and Skull type of character. I mean, Space is one of the better seasons, and they do actually have a way to integrate Bulk and Skull, but they do it in a way that's not in your face. It's not fart jokes.
I mean, RPM has Ziggy. RPM has Ziggy, who's kind of like comedic.
Yeah, but it's like organic, though. You don't stop the show to tell a joke,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly my point, is that, yes, they have Ziggy, but that's a Ranger that has those elements. To me, that's just a sign of good writing or a decent writing. You don't necessarily need to be – like, this is what I don't like about it. So it's like, okay, you have your hero archetype that's your leader. You have the nice one that's this. You have the smart one that's this. I don't like character archetypes like that. Give them a little depth. Give them a little bit of layers. I think you can have that all organically in those characters, including the comedy beats. Hell, they can all have comedy beats in the seasons. If you go back and look at some of like, RPMs is a really good example, mainly because you did say that like Ziggy has comedic elements to him, and that's great because I think that Rangers can be funny. Same thing with like Chip in Mystic Force, right? Like he was like the geeky one. He was like the funny one.
Yep.
It was funny, like in RPM when the twins showed up, and then Ziggy basically became the straight man to them.
Yep.
Right.
So it even funnier.
Exactly. Like I kind of, and honestly, I personally, I think that I think Power Rangers is almost over that hump. I think that Ben and Betty are headed in the right direction.
Yes.
Like I like the characters, and yeah, there's some things that are still over the top, but credit to them. Like I think that they still serve a purpose and they still make you care about those characters.
Yeah. Listen,
and I think that's what's important.
I think that I would be fine with adding comedic characters in the show if the Rangers didn't, become second fiddle to them. I think that if once the comedic duo gets like more screen time than like one or two Rangers on the show, that's a problem. I think that you have to develop each character, independently and then all together. But I think that that's a problem. But listen, like I loved Chris and Caleb and what they did and like how much effort they put into it. I love how much Cosmo and Christina they put into it. This is a thing that I was thinking about earlier this week, and I texted Joe about it specifically. I was listening to like a podcast with Melissa McCartney, right? She's the girl that she was in. She had like a stint in 2016 where she had a bunch of films. Or she was in that Ghostbuster movie. She was in Bridesmaids. She believes that the industry has lost a lot of respect for just the physical comedy, like comedy in general, like the icons like Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin and Bill Murray. You don't see that anymore, and the reason why you don't see that is because they are critiqued in a certain way where it steers producers and directors away from making strictly comedic films or strictly comedy films. And I think that especially in these dark times, we still need films like that. Okay, it's not gonna measure up. It's not gonna measure up to like film, like all these films that are getting Golden Globes or Academy Awards or whatever. But that's not what their intention is. Don't like automatically dismiss them. Don't automatically dismiss them because it's not what you're looking for. Or it's not what the Academy or this group of people is looking for. It's still an art. There's an art to physical comedy. There's an art to comedic timing. There's a whole art to it, to the point where like it's not easy being a stand-up comic. Not easy whatsoever. It's all pitch and release. It's all like reaching out to your audience and seeing if it connects. That's what happens a lot in like with these comedic duos. That's what happens a lot with physical comedy. A lot of it, like it's definitely hit or miss, but physical comedy has been around since like Shakespeare's time, like it's an art. It's an art. Yes, it's not going to be critically acclaimed and whatever, but like during that podcast she was all saying how it's not judged fairly, like how superhero movies are judged like immediately. They're always getting like 80% to 100% without even trying. And yeah, I think that a lot of people give the comedic duos a lot of shit, but I think that they're trying to keep this specific type of art alive. And I just wish that the other character development wouldn't be second fiddle to this, to these comedic duos. That's just my take on everything.
I agree with you. I don't think that they've executed the comedic duo thing well recently. I think they're heading in the right direction, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's go. Jezza, you have another question?
Daniel Romano says Todd Phillips commented on that. He said they can't tell jokes anymore because someone would get offended, and he's right. Ben and Betty are anti-comedy. I don't know if they're anti-comedy. I think like if I was an actor on the show, I would love to be in that comedic role because it seems more freeing. It seems so much fun, and you're not tied down by certain storylines, or you're not tied down to you don't have to do suit fittings, you don't have to do the choreography. It's just so much fun, and a lot of people like especially like I go back to Facebook groups. A lot of people give these actors a lot of shit, but it's a role. It's a role that they're given. It's a role that they audition for, and to some of them, this is like the biggest thing in the world because it's not every day an actor gets a job. There's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of actors in LA that are unemployed, and they have this imposter thing where they feel like they can't call themselves actors because they're not getting roles. So especially with the newer generation of these ranger actors, they are very active within these groups. They are very active in social media. So they see a lot of these fans comments, and they see the negative reaction to them. But a lot of the fans don't understand that it's a role, it's a job for them, and to have that not get received a certain way because it's not what you want in a series that I know a lot of people hate saying this, a series that is primarily aimed to sell toys and it's aimed towards younger kids to sell toys. They see that and it hurts. Like I remember we had during WonderCon we had Caleb and Nico come in, and a fan went up to him and said, "You know that you're one of the worst Yellow Rangers in the whole franchise of Power Rangers. Who does that?"
Wait, you were there when this happened?
I had an interview with Nico and Caleb.
I remember that.
During WonderCon, and Nico said that some fan came up to him at WonderCon and literally said that, on Watch Mojo, you're listed as one of the worst worst Yellow Rangers of all time. Who does that? Who the fuck does that? Who has the fucking balls to go up to somebody's
Is it that fan's fault, or is it Watch Mojo's fault at that point?
Okay, it's Watch Mojo. It's a website. We have a website, and we all grade like who's the best Batman and all that. But as a fan of Power Rangers and going like to have the audacity to go up to someone that has dedicated a lot of their time to be there and meet and greet with a lot of you motherfuckers, and then for you guys to just insult them inside, there's certain things you don't fucking say. There's certain things you don't fucking say, and you obviously don't say it to them in person. That's like, if I were ever to see that person, if I were to ask Nico who is that person, I would clock the shit out of him. I'll be like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. You don't deserve to be a fan. Get the fuck out of here. It's not right, man. It's not fucking right.
Judges getting fired up right now.
It pisses me off, dude. It fucking pisses me off when shit like that happens. Or like when someone comes up to a panel and said, "Hey, I hated your Ranger in this series." Like, are you fucking serious? You're given the mic and this is what you want to do? This is what you want to do? You're lucky they are very like respectable people and they won't do anything about it. But if we ever had a panel and they did that shit to me, I'd be like, "Hey,
didn't Andrew Gray like say, 'Why don't you say that to my face?'" in one of like
see? Exactly. And it's crazy.
Well, like that's one of those things. Like, look, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks out there, and it's so annoying because, look, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm also part of a lot of these Power Ranger fan groups or Reddit or Twitter or whatever it may be. I'll be 1,000% real. As creative as some of you guys think you are, I have yet to hear a different pitch for the name of a different name than Dino Knights. I swear to God. It's like you guys think you're original, and then it's like, oh, Dino Knights, cool. 900 of you guys all said that, and then the pitch, like the ideas for some of the stories for Dino Fury that they're given. It's like, man, like it's not any better. So it's kind of like, okay, I think that like it's a good way to gauge somebody. It's easy to hide behind a computer or hide behind certain things and say certain things like that. But at the same time, I'd love to hear. It's like, okay, cool. So you have a better idea for a story? Let's fucking hear it then. Oh, you don't? You have nothing? Cool. Let's go with nothing. Let's do nothing instead.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
it's like I don't know, man. It's so crazy. This is a thing that happened last Power MorphCon. It bothered me at the time, but I understand it now. We were selling shirts at the booth.
Oh, is this that story about how they don't want you?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck now. But we were at the booth. We were selling shirts. We had that freaking. If you guys are at Power MorphCon, you know we had that badass booth with the Megazord. You know the Megazord cockpit. And this guy came up to me. Just came up to me, and like out of nowhere he goes, "You know what? I like the Ranger wrap up, but I don't watch it unless Joe's on it." I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Wow. I mean, what's wrong with me, man?" And then he's like, "Oh, I just like Joe." And in my head, I was like, "Man, go fuck yourself, bro. Go fuck yourself. You do not understand this. You do not understand how much it takes to like put on a show, take time out of your day to like put on a show for you fans." I mean, Joe, not belittling anything that let Daniel.
No, it's true. I do very little on this show now.
No.
Just show
like,
up.
No, like Joe and Daniel do. They'll come to the studio, and then I'll tell them what to do. Like at the time I was thinking in my head, and I wanted to say it to him. I was like, I fucking drive an hour to do this show for you, for the fans, and for you to disrespect me like that. I was like, what the fuck? Go fuck yourself. If I ever see that dude again, man, I don't even know what I say.
It's one of the. I just don't get like it. Look, the thing is, it's easy for I don't. And you're like Jezzer now has the same mentality that I pretty much have. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care what people think. I do this for the people that are in this chat right now, and I do this for my own self satisfaction. If you don't like the way I do it, if you have a problem with it, cool. I don't care. Like do it yourself then, and I won't watch that either. So like, you know, it doesn't matter to me. Look, at the end of the day too, I know what our value is doing the show. Look, let's be 100% transparent about one thing. A lot of people do Power Ranger shows nowadays. I get it. And credit to them because I think some of them do a good job. And a lot of people interview Power Rangers now. And we were one of the first ones doing that. And I like the people that are interviewing Power Rangers now. But with that being said, it's like, okay, cool. What are we doing now? Well, let's be honest. We're dropping Power Ranger news that nobody else really has. And I like doing that. Me and Jezzer still like doing interviews. And we still like doing fun things for the fans. Like, we were just talking off screen about how we want to do a stream, us playing what's the board game called?
Battle for the Grid. Battle for the Grid.
Corey looked back to see his little stack of games.
Heroes for the Grid. Heroes of the Grid.
We were all thinking that, like, you know, we want to play Heroes for the Grid on a stream just to have fun. It's like we're gonna do what the fuck we want to do.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's gonna come down to.
Yeah, I think what it is we enjoy what we're doing. We'll do it. We're doing it for you guys, but you guys aren't really you're not really like affecting our motives to do the show, because we listen. We love talking about the show. I personally love doing a lot of stuff with the Rangers because they're so outside of what you see on screen. There's like majority of them, like maybe 99% of them are the greatest people, like are the coolest people in the world, and I would like have beers with them and drink with them like all day because they're the coolest people. I mean, where's that one podcast we had Caleb in there, and he brought us a big old bottle of Jack Daniels, man.
Jack Daniels. Yes, that was fun.
Dude, that dude is hilarious. He's so much fun. I want to do more stuff with him. Yeah, they're just the coolest people, and they're actually the ones that kept me doing the show. Like working with them is the reason I kept doing the show. I think there was a time when I was like, Joe, I don't want to do it no more. Like, fuck this shit. I don't want to do this anymore. It's like my heart's not in it anymore. But then we, started reaching out to a lot of Rangers and like doing some collabs and stuff. And
when was that time? I don't remember any of that.
There was a time when I would just dial it in to the point where like I would just shit on the show during the show.
Is that when we were in Hollywood, at our studio in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Or is that back in Manhattan?
It was during the Hollywood time. It was during the Hollywood time. I would hate going to Hollywood. The thing is, there are certain people that would come up to me and all I'd hear is complaining about, oh, I can't find parking, can't do this, I can't do this, and I like in my head I'm just like, I don't give a flying fuck about your problems. I don't give a fuck about your problems. I'm driving an hour through fucking up a hill in a car that can barely move, that can barely go up a fucking hill. I'm driving here like setting up and doing all this shit. and you're complaining about trying to find parking. Get the fuck out of here. To the point.
Jezzer used to get so mad, like when you would. All I remember from that era is like you setting up. It would already be set up. We do the show, and then Jezzer would just leave.
Yeah.
And then that was it. But like I you know what? I've been in that place too, man. Like I remember, like there was a good stretch of time where I wasn't doing any shows. Like I was just out.
Yeah.
This is like a solid like 6 months I took off, and I was like, yeah, I'm fucking done. And that's actually, like, I just remember just being over it all and just kind of like wanting to do my own thing. And then like when we all kind of formed the Illuminerdi, I like my passion. Like right before that, I think, right before we formed the Illuminerdi officially is when my passion really started like coming back, and it felt like how it felt back in the day when we were like doing some of our best work.
Yeah, it's it all just comes down to, like, especially with content creators, it all comes down to what's their drive and why they keep doing it. And a lot of them say, I do it for the fans. I do it for the fans. But yeah, I do. Listen, I do it for these guys. I do it for my team. I do all this for my team. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, it's interesting because like I think back to some of the best stuff we've ever done, and the time that I had the most fun is like the times when we were just in Manhattan Beach at our studio, and it would be like Saturday and Sunday both days, but like you would see everybody filter in between those 2 days. Like and some people would be there all day and all night, not because they had to be, because they wanted to be, and it was such a fun atmosphere for all of us to hang out, and like that's why I'm so excited to move back, like when all this is done, to go back to our studio, because I just miss being around all my friends.
Yeah, because we'd be there for hours, from like 9 o'clock to 2
in the morning.
Yep, we'll just be there, like to the point where we'll break down everything. We'll break down the whole studio. There's no chairs, no tables, and we're sitting on the dirty ass ground and just like talking it up about random ass fucking shit. Mainly because Joe would keep asking us questions because he intentionally wanted us to stay there.
Because I don't sleep, guys. Like here's the one thing about me. I go to sleep at like, because especially now I know because right now I love doing this Illuminerdi stuff. I absolutely love it. And if you guys knew half the stuff we had in store for you, not even just on the Power Ranger front, but just on everything we're doing, but especially the Power Ranger front, because we're doing a lot with that. But if you guys knew all the shit that we were working on, I love it. Like I go to sleep at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be up at like 8 or 9 every day. And like Jezzer knows, like we'll be texting at like 4 in the morning. We'll be texting like late at night. Like you can reach me at any time. Like I just love doing this stuff. Like me, Josh, and Shay last Sunday, we were all at Josh's place, and we were just hanging out, watching, like we did a random Twitch stream, but we were there until like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And we were just like having fun. Like this is the stuff that I love. And then at the same time, like for a lot of the people that are watching, man, you guys have no idea. And Morphicon last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was, like we hung out with Larry and like MJ Spud. Like we love these guys. Like Larry mainly. Like Larry was such a cool dude. Oh, Matthew Thompson came down and visited us a few times. Like, dude, we just love hanging out. We just love talking about the stuff that we like.
I mean, yeah, especially I don't know if they're in here right now, but David and Brittany. I fucking love David and Brittany. They're they're the fucking shit. Like this is a question for Corey. Corey, where the fuck where you going? Where, so you've been, because you kind of just jumped on, like officially on the team like end of last year or whatever. What made you gravitate towards the team?
I don't know. He'll keep asking me stuff about power. All right, I'll come in. Really, basically, I just wanted to do stuff. It sounds real generic. You got me on the spot.
Well, I mean, because I felt bad, because like me and Joe are here talking, and you're just kind of like, I don't know, I'm not,
I don't have no real history. I was just always in the background, and then he'd be like, hey, what's Power Ranger his? Because I know this stuff off the top of my head. I ain't got to research it. But
that cocky motherfucker over here.
But mostly because of that, and wanting to do stuff in productions, really. So
yeah, and it's nice to have a team behind you when you're doing a lot of stuff, because you primarily you have a pretty good following, and you primarily do a lot of your projects on your own. It's probably a different dynamic, like working under not under a team, but working with a team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I just do it. If I don't get done, it don't get done. I don't care,
Yeah.
On a team, you gotta,
Yeah.
Get to work.
Actually, Heirloom brings up a really good point here. He says, I do love your passion for this. I kind of wish there was the same love over here in the UK a bit more. I agree, man. But here's the thing. Like, the one thing that, especially when we formed the Illuminerdi, like, and Jezer probably knows this better than a lot of other people. Josh is in the chat. Appreciate it. And he knows this as well. I was very particular with who I would bring in back in the day. Like, I was very particular with who I would bring in. Now, I'm really able to just bring in pretty much anybody, and we can find a role for them in the Illuminerdi, because I think everybody has value. But not just does everybody have value, everybody brings such a different dynamic to the table that, and looks at things the way that you would never see them before. And I love that. Like, the one thing that I kind of, especially with Power Ranger fans, because like the one thing that I like about hanging out with most fans is the passion behind it. Like, they love the show, or else they wouldn't be at something like Morphicon. And for me, it's a 3-day stretch where I just get to completely live in my fandom, and I like that. But like, and I do like the pride that we take with that, and I wish that that was more apparent worldwide, because when I was in London last year, I met up with Bryn Darby. Like, he came out and had drinks with us, and we were just talking Power Rangers too. And it's like, man, I wish that like whenever I would travel to a place, like whether it be New York, whether it be London, I can take one of my days and just meet up with fellow fans, just kind of geek out over stuff. I wish that, you know what, maybe we should start doing that once we start traveling again, huh, Jezer?
Yeah. We met up with in New York. We met up with Blackwing. We met with Blackwing.
I saw Blackwing in New York, and I remember when we met David too. Like, the one thing that they'll always say is that, Joe, you're taller in real life than I thought you would be. It's the one thing that I always get.
David's in the group right now. I remember, like, it's different now, but I remember when David met you, like, he was so nervous. Like, Like, his hands was like, and I was thinking, dude, it's just Joe. It's like, what the fuck? It's just Joe. Like, calm down.
Well, I'm one of the most down-to-earth dudes. Like, I'll have a drink with anybody. I'll shoot the shit with anybody. Hey, by the way, fun fact here, and this is a little plug. So tomorrow, I love that all you guys are here in this chat right now, but tomorrow I'm filling in for Nate on the wrestling show. So Jay and I are going to be handling wrestling stuff. If you're a wrestling fan, please tune in. And if you're not, tune in anyway, because we want the views, and I promise you, I will make the show entertaining specifically for you in the chat, whoever shows up. But yeah, let's talk about this. So Heirloom says it's about 4 to 5 hour trip. But for you, if you're in London, might be able to meet me next time I'm here, dude. Next time, I love going to London. So next time I'm there, for sure, I'll be down to meet up. Me and Jezer were in Chicago, man. We were in Chicago. Was that last year?
Yeah, it was April of last year. That was crazy. It was cold as fuck. It was,
yeah, we got snowed in.
You know what was awesome? So it was a Star Wars convention, right? And I just saw a bunch of Hoth troopers outside in the snow. I was like, this is the perfect picture for this shit. Like, what the hell? This is like gold. Like, you can't ask for anything better. You can't ask.
I'm not giant. Like Blackwing says, I'm surprised seeing Joe in person. Dude is a giant. He makes it sound like I'm 6'5". I'm like 6 foot 6'1" maybe.
Yeah. I think just standing next to me, he looks like a giant, because there's a huge deficit as far as height.
Roy, how tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". Nashville. Jessica's in Nashville, so that, yeah, man. I would love to go out to Nashville. If I go out to Nashville, wherever I go, I'm gonna do like little meetups. I'm gonna do little Power Ranger meetups. So follow my Twitter account, and I'll announce them there. But whenever I go somewhere, and for all of you LA locals that are in this chat, when we do live shows, you guys should come out, man. Like, this would be a great way for you guys to interact with us and kind of see what we do. It'll be a lot of fun, dude. I did not realize the Blur's so tall. He's 6'5".
Wow.
Jonathan is 6'5".
That's scary, bro. Like, what the hell? I'd be looking up, and I was like, oh, what's up, John? What's going on?
That's why you like Superman, because he's a giant.
Yeah. So
Blackwing says, oh shoot, I'm taller than Corey.
Yeah, but so back to Power Rangers. Yeah, we do love doing this stuff for you guys. I know a lot of you guys previously were asking about if they're casting in person yet. They are not casting in person quite yet for the new season. So when that happens, we'll be the first to let you know. But they're still casting first rounds.
Hey, they're casting.
Like
they're casting older people. We should audition. They're casting all their.
For a comedy duo.
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
But they're casting. I believe they're casting for female though for the comedy, one of the comedy roles. But they are casting one of the aliens, so it doesn't really matter.
That's gonna be fun.
$5. What do you say that Kelson ends up getting that Zorb character that's going to be in Dino Fury?
Easy pickup. Easy pickup.
Wait, Larry, you're 5'11"? Then I must be. I guess I am like 6'1". I must be like 6'1" then.
Oh yeah. David says Joe next to Jezer is like Lance Archer next to Marco Stunt. Who are those people?
Oh, that's an AEW reference. This is kind of true. Dude, David, how come you're not in our wrestling show, bro? I'll be on this weekend, though. We'll be talking some wrestling. We'll be talking about Rey Mysterio's retirement. There's a lot of cool things we'll be talking about there. By the way, I also want to talk about Retro Ranger wrap-up. Listen, we appreciate you guys boosting up their numbers. I know they had a few technical difficulties last week, but they're just wrapping up the Psycho Rangers that are in Power Rangers in Space. They will enjoy your company, so please join them live tomorrow at 5 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time. That would be amazing. Daniel, Elle, and Josh are killing it over there. Josh is a sci-fi expert, so he knows all about that sci-fi tropes that happen in Power Rangers in Space as we talk about the current Power Ranger stuff. I want to incorporate Corey more into this conversation and get it back going to Power Rangers right now.
He's like, thank you.
Real quick, Corey, with the franchise right now, being in the state it is, especially being under the control of Hasbro, do you think that it's sustainable to stay on something like a Nickelodeon for growth?
No, they haven't grown in the years Saban had it. I haven't seen Power Rangers. I haven't heard anyone talk about Power Rangers outside of my supervisor at work. She told me her daughter likes Ninja still. She always singing the song. Outside of that,
your daughter has terrible taste in theme songs.
I was like, but I think they really should focus on getting Power Rangers on streaming, like Netflix. Either just do it solely on YouTube. I think that it'll do well if they just cast it on YouTube, But
well, YouTube is actually
watching it on freaking Nickelodeon.
Oh, you're saying like not live stream it on YouTube, but just post it on YouTube after?
Either which way. I mean, if it's still on Nickelodeon, then post it on YouTube, but then not even be on the network and just show Power Rangers on YouTube TV, whatever.
Well, because I think YouTube is moving away from more original content, and they're just doing like content creator based stuff for their premium stuff. Because I think earlier this week they said that Cobra Kai is going to be looking for a new home because YouTube is not going to be continuing doing like original content on
yeah, no, not YouTube TV. It's like direct AT now.
Yeah,
it's like it's all the regular channels, not the premium stuff.
Yeah, David said YouTube canceled its original content, which is
so a couple questions in here I want to touch on real quick, just switching gears real quick. So yes, we do cover anime now. Otis, if you're a fan of anime, check out our website, theilluminerdi.com.
No, he said
Flash says,
oh yeah.
What's that?
Never mind. He said anime now. Yeah.
Flash says, Joe, when are you releasing your Ranger exclusive? You've been teasing us for weeks about Dino Fury and the future of Power Rangers. I'll tell you the truth. The reason I haven't released it yet is because we don't want to be like other outlets and just release things and just say, oh, you know what, it's out there. Truth is, there's a lot of legwork I got to do in the checking. I know a lot of you guys just think that I just have this vast Power Ranger connections and they tell me things. That's true, but I also still got to do the homework. I still got to check and make sure and make sure the story lines up with what the studio's doing. I actually have to reach out to the studio to see if they give me anything back. So there's a lot. It's like being a detective. Like I have to go in and figure all this out. I just can't release things just because I think they sound cool.
Yeah, it's called what is it? Journalistic integrity.
Right. You know what's funny? Like I always thought about this when I was younger. So I'm a huge Superman fan. Like a huge Superman fan.
Yeah.
And I would have never thought that that would be my job as being a journalist. And it's so interesting because now you actually have to follow these kind of rules and do things. So that's what I do. So just to make sure that that the story's as accurate as it can be. I'm checking with as many sources as I can, especially because this one's quite a big story. So
if you were to like rank it 1 through 5, what is this story as far as the level of intensity the story is?
I would say that. All right, so if we were to say it, out of the Power Ranger stories, the biggest that we've ever dropped, I so far they would be Dimensions in Danger, like the cast returning. We named all the cast for Dimensions in Danger.
Yoshi coming back.
Yeah, I would say Austin coming back, and I would say Ryu Soldier. I would say that those three are our biggest Power Ranger stories we've ever dropped, I would say. Right, Jezzer, or no?
Yeah.
So, and this one I think is bigger than all of those.
All of them put together?
I don't know about all of them put together, but it's definitely bigger than all of those. And I will almost guarantee you when we drop the story, there's going to be people that are going to be like, no, this isn't true. It's not real, blah, blah, blah. I guarantee it. Watch.
100%. And you know what? It's not going to bother me this time around because, I don't know. It's going to...
I mean, the only thing, too, that makes me nervous about that story is that things can always change. But, like, but from everything I'm told, it doesn't seem like it's going to.
Yeah, so you're just making sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed.
Yeah, I'm covering my bases, man. I got to make sure. I can't just put out fake news. It's not what I'm about.
Yeah.
Let's see. I love all the people that are in the chat right now. I would say that all 39 of you watching are probably my favorite people that are watching right now. So if there's a 40th person that comes in here, fuck them. But let's keep going.
We was at 47 at some point.
So yeah, let's get more questions going. Billy coming back? Probably not.
No,
it's highly doubtful. And if he does come back, he wants to come back for a full season. Truth be told, I can imagine him coming back for Dino Fury. To be honest with you.
Hey, we released news on Claire not coming back, and people are like in the comments are like, of course she's not in the crossover. She's not in the crossover. Like that's not news. That's not news. It's like, but there's plenty of scenes you could incorporate her to. I mean,
well, her character actually is in the cross. Like her counterpart is in the crossover. It's just not suited up.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you could have easily just had Claire as her character in the show, not be a Ranger. It's easily done, and they could have. I mean, they could have brought her in, but like we said in the article, she wasn't approached. And,
oh man, yeah. Sorry, Jez, I didn't even cut you off.
No
the Blur asked if I haven't even started Kamen Rider Kuga. Honestly, like I'm still trying to get through Zoo Ranger. It is a struggle and a half, bro.
Is
Jew
it?
Ranger?
Man, I will say this straight up. Mighty Morphin did that season better than the Sentai, I think. Like, and this is where Corey, I do have to give your Mighty Morphin credit. I think that they took that show and actually made it like a lot better than it was in the Japanese version. I really do believe that.
Did they explain that little kid?
Jew Ranger mostly for the action, really. Because Jew Ranger is kind of flat, Rita torturing kids and stuff like that. It's like,
yeah. What were you saying, Jezzer?
Did they remember? There's that little miss up in MMPR where there's that little Japanese kid standing next to the Megazord. Did they explain that?
Yeah, that's a part of a story in Jew Ranger. That kid is like, it's like wish fulfillment, and that kid he grows big with the Zord or with the mech. So. It's just they didn't edit it out. It's not like a mistake. It was in the story.
Oh.
I will say
that's the weirdest thing.
The Barai story is actually pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Like the whole backstory about Barai is actually the highlight of that whole season for me.
Do you think it's better than the Tommy story?
I wouldn't say better. I would just say different. Because I like the fact that Tommy. I will say I was very impressed with what they were able to do with the footage, like what Saban was able to do with the footage. I think that they chopped it up and were completely able to make Mighty Morphin Power Rangers its own thing. Like it doesn't even really resemble the Japanese version really at all. And I'm very impressed with how they were able to do that. I think that because now I'm going to go back and start watching these and kind of figure out because one that I did watch, Mighty Morphin's really my first, but like some of these other seasons that I've seen, I feel like they're copy and paste, and I get that. But like it really feels like Mighty Morphin is its own thing, and I like that.
I would say try O Ranger.
Try O Ranger.
Oh wait, time out. We have a question from Blackman. He says, Joe, when you look back at promos from the old era Power Rangers, do you think that's what the franchise is lacking? For example, what you give a tease of what's coming up on the next week's episode. What do you guys think about that?
Next
That's a great
time
question.
on the Power Rangers. I mean,
do you think that? I mean, it would help. I think it would help, definitely.
Yeah. I
mean, the thing is that nowadays the whole show is just filler. You get your intro episode, you get your Special Ranger episode, and then there's the ending, and everything in between is just filler.
You're saying it's not connected. It's not a.
Yeah, so there's really no point. Back in the day, it was all about that action, but there's really not much action in Power Rangers these days.
I mean, that could be said for a lot of kid shows now. I think a lot of kid shows, like, you can jump into any episode and not have to follow it from start to finish. I think that's just the format that the kid shows have now, and I think.
See, I think Corey, I think there's a big difference with my enjoyment of Power Rangers. I think that you had said that there's a lack of action nowadays. Me personally, I don't really like Power Rangers for the action. I actually want better stories told, and I think that to me it's lacking of storytelling. I think if you like every episode of Power Rangers, with the exception of a couple, is very formulaic. It's like, okay, we're gonna set you up with what the internal problem is that the Ranger has to face personally, and then we're gonna introduce a monster, and then we're gonna have the monster get the upper hand in a fight, and then we're gonna have to have the Ranger figure out what he needs to overcome in order to beat the monster, or whatever new weapon to beat the monster. Then they beat the monster grows big, they fight it in Zord form, and then you get the last 3 minutes wrapping up the whole episode in a nice little bow. I literally described about 95% of every episode of Power Rangers in that one sentence.
Yep.
So the challenge, it's if you look at it, and this is a segue into what I'm going to be doing on wrestling. If you look at it in terms of wrestling, every wrestling match is essentially the same thing too. You have your entrances. The face the heel gets the advantage at first, but then the face ends up out wrestling him. After that, the heel has to cheat to start getting the advantage again, and then the face gets that big crowd energy, and then it makes his comeback, and then you get a few false finishes, and then you get the finish of the match. It's essentially the same formula, but the thing with wrestling is you can take that formula and put places in different spots and make it a good match. Power Rangers can do that very sparse, and I think that once you get good seasons, that's when they're taking the formula and moving things around. And I think that's what you have to do to keep it relevant. If not, imagine reading the Power Ranger comic and it was the same fucking thing every week. Like, I read some of these, like if you check out some of the comics that were in the 60s and 70s, it was just like a villain of the week. It's the same shit. It's Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But then when you get the comics being more interesting, that's when you get better stories being told.
Yeah. Corey, you got a question. It says from David, Corey, do you think PR will ever go back to having more on-more fights, and if that could help fans connect more with the characters?
Yeah, the thing is with that is that I'm real, because I used to be a martial artist, and I know when someone can't fight.
Wait,
and if they can't fight, and I don't like the unmore fights when they're skilled. So I mean, if they find better fighters to be Rangers, then I'm down. But if not, I'm okay. Hurry up and morph and show me something cool.
There was another question earlier in the chat. He kept asking it. I think it was Flash said, "Do you guys think Dino Fury will go back to that high school element?" I don't think so. I personally think I think actually it's gonna be on par with the story for Ryu Soldier. I think it's gonna.
Do you think it's gonna be like a straight up adaptation?
Not direct adaptation, but it's gonna be a close adaptation to that.
I'm 1,000% gonna agree with you, Jezzer. I actually think it will. And I've never even seen an episode of Ryu Soldier. The only reason I think it is because it's the lazy way to do it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's the lazy way and it's the quickest way to do it, and they just have to
Yeah,
recreate it beat. They just have to recreate it beat for beat. This is a off-topic thing because I was watching it on HBO Max. There is a movie called Death at a Funeral. It was a British movie.
Oh, with James Marsden.
Huh?
With James Marsden.
That was the remake. So there was an actual film before that, and it actually had Peter Dinklage in it too. Peter Dinklage literally got paid twice to do the same role for the same movie. But they literally remade it, beat for beat, everything, and no one noticed anything. And I think that's what's gonna happen with Ryu Soldier. There is also, I saw this on TikTok. So you guys know that 70s show with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis and all them, right? London or Europe, someplace in Europe, they did a adaptation of that show within a year after of it, a year after, and it was called I think How Things Were or something. And there's literally the same show beat for beat, and it didn't have the same feel. So I think it's not unoriginal to remake stories like that. I mean, Shameless did it. The Good Doctor did it. I think that Ryu Soldier is going to be literally a direct adaptation from Dino Fear is going to be a direct adaptation from Ryu Soldier.
Hey, I love this question that DDT asks. It says, follow your point. Do you think Tommy being believable led to his popularity? Tommy being believable led to his popularity in terms of his fighting.
I would say so, yeah.
I think it was his charisma.
So it's interesting. I was actually on Reddit earlier this week, and there was a great Reddit thread that was talking about, and this is a question that's going to be talked about till the end of Power Rangers, is who is a better adaptation? Yes, adaptation, sorry. Who is a better leader for Power Rangers, Tommy or Jason? And overwhelmingly, a lot of people said Jason, and I don't think that's necessarily true, but I would say that it's just very different. I honestly do think that both of them had very different leadership types, leadership abilities. But I don't really think it's very hard to say who is a better leader out of the two of them, mainly because if you look at tenure, then you would say Tommy. If you look at just being the first, then you would say Jason. But who was actually the better leader? Surprisingly enough, I would say Billy.
Only Can Be Me D says PR could benefit from hiring union actors or even actors with a resume, but that insight a bigger budget. By the way, Ranger Vault CEO here. I think that is not on the top of the priority for Hasbro and what they're doing with Power Rangers. I think if anything, they're gonna look cutting more corners than changing non-union to union. I just don't think that's a priority for them, or has ever been a priority for them post Saban.
How does Nickelodeon make their shows, their live action shows? Are those kids union or like Disney actors and stuff?
Yeah. But you have to think you can't like group this with those shows because it's not technically a Nickelodeon show.
No, that I was just asking.
Yeah.
It's because of the budget.
Don't agree with that. I don't think Power Rangers would benefit from hiring union actors for one reason. They still have the same script. They would benefit greatly from hiring DGA writers. I think that would be the biggest thing that they could do to change the show is hiring union writers. But I don't think that they would benefit from. I mean, even with different actors, if you gave Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and all these other guys the Power Ranger script, it's still the Power Ranger script. You know what I mean? It's hard to turn that stuff in a great material.
A perfect example for this. There is a movie that one of the movies I've actually walked out of at a movie theater, where it had like so many amazing actors in it, like Hugh Jackman. It had Chris Pratt. It had Dennis Quaid and Halle Berry. It was called Movie 43. That movie was the shittiest, like literally shit movie. It even had like Steve Merchant. It had so many people in it, and like because it was just a shitty movie, it just was shit. So I mean, regardless of if you hire good actors or not, it's if the script is still bad, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
Hey, I have a question for you guys. So I know we're going to be changing up the Patreon soon. I know the stuff we've talked about off air, but you mind if we have an open just conversation about it? I don't know if Josh is still here, but just open conversation about it, because I know that we're going to do the tiers a little bit different and add different things, and lower prices. I know we're doing a lot of things. But one thing, I don't want to pitch it to you guys, mainly because just you two guys, let's pretend we'll go to the live audience reaction after, but let's pretend they're not here right now.
Okay.
I'm talking to Corey and Jezzer, my two buddies here.
Hello, Joe.
So,
And
one thing that I was thinking about for our Cosmic Protector universe, and I kind of brought it up a little bit off screen, was that we are thinking about doing, especially now knowing we can do this with the technology and having a beautiful layover. And I was just checking out Hyperforce. What if we did our own Power Rangers RPG, except with patrons being the Power Ranger team, and we can make that canon into the story depending on how the story goes? Because I do have these other ideas for Power Ranger teams, which I pitched to Corey already. But it's a fun way to have the fans become their own Rangers with some of those teams and put them in some of the circumstances which I want those Rangers to go through. What do you guys think about something like that?
I would say you would still have to do some sort of casting process if you would do that. Because not everyone is watchable.
Well, it does. Look, they don't. Because I was actually talking to Shay and Josh about this. It's not necessarily so much on them, because even if they're not the most outgoing, we can literally send some of those patrons like a stack of like things they have to read through first. But and they got to play. They got to be the character at all times. But it's really on who's moderating it, or the dungeon master will say. It's really their show, because they got to be the ones really facilitating everything and get everybody really invested into it. Now, again, if we do this, it won't be for a while along the way, but because me and Shay and Josh have kind of been working out a few things, but I think it's something we can conceivably do, maybe like once a month, having them call in and just do it specifically for them. Like, it doesn't need to be for like a mass audience. But it's for them, and then we can edit it down and put out the best stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they're just playing with us in private then?
Well, kind of, but we can edit it to make it like put in different things and edit it down so it becomes like a more cohesive story that's
Corey,
told instead of doing like a 4-hour-long thing that Hyperforce is doing.
Corey, we'd be the game masters. We'd be like Philip Seymour Hoffman in like Hunger Games, and we'd be like shaking shit up for them and fucking up their whole world, you know? Like, it's like you're playing God, you know? It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make everything super hard if you don't like a certain person. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna die, or you have full control over it. I mean, I think it's cool.
Ranger, I don't like the color purple.
Well, I have a pretty good base of where I want to start. I know which Power Ranger, because I'm going to use an old Sentai team that we're going to make our own. So I know how I want to start it. And it's just, I even know how I kind of want to do it. So what I want to do, and it's so funny, because for a second I actually absolutely forgot that we were like live. But for what I want to do is almost for whoever qualifies for that patron level, I want to send out almost a questionnaire so I can figure out which archetype of Ranger. Like, I want them to not know which Ranger I'm going to give them to be in the show. So they're going to find it out all live. And then what we'll do, even for the monsters, let's say like Jezzer's a monster of the week. It's Jezzer's game to try to beat them, right? So when Jezzer's on, he would still have his own dice rolls. I would mute all the Rangers so they don't know what Jezzer's doing.
Yeah.
And that way it becomes like a real game if some of these people can survive to be Rangers.
I would love to be the villain. I would love to kill the Power Rangers. That'd be so much fun.
See, so I have an idea of how I want to do it, and I have a pretty solid figure. I have a pretty solid way of how I want to do it. It's really about Shay adapting some of the source material, just because I have to send that out to some of the fans that are going to participate in it. But then I got to figure out which I know which season I want to do too, and I know how many Rangers I want to do it with. So I already know the story arc of what we're doing, but something to look out for. I think it'd be a good Patreon level, and it'd be canon to our Cosmic Protector universe.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It'd be fun. Maybe like later down the line, it'd be a cool idea. It'd be definitely a cool idea, but I do want. That'd be really fun. And especially like when you emphasize that it would be for the patrons themselves, and it wouldn't be for like the mass. I think that takes a little pressure off of the whole thing a little bit.
Yeah. It would really be them playing. I mean, we can edit it down, making it a nice video, a nice package that we can display. But like, it would really be for them. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I do want to play the actual board game. Because you guys look like you had so much fun when we did that freaking Game of Thrones one, and I think that, if we were to do the Power Rangers board game,
Did you say fun? Do you know how many fights broke out during that?
It was great. This is literally what reality TV is built on. But if we were to do the board game, I wouldn't it wouldn't just be. I honestly wouldn't have the three, I wouldn't have just an all Power Ranger team on it. I would have random people throughout our group be in there so that you're on your feet a little bit, and then.
What do you mean? Give me an example.
We'd have you, and then we'll have Tatiana, and then Migdalia or something, and Brandon, random people, not just the whole Power Ranger team. We wouldn't have Josh or Elle or me or Corey or you know what I mean. It'd be random people. That way, they're the audience is always on their feet, and they don't know what to expect from each person because they don't.
But the downside with that Power Ranger game, which is a little bit different than the Game of Thrones game, is that we were playing into the roles of what our houses were. In Power Rangers, it's a co-op, so you're working together, and it's all about teamwork.
But that's the thing. Not everybody necessarily works well together plays well with others. So I mean, what.
There is a version of the game where you can play as the villains.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
See,
we get the villains team and the heroes team. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that's exactly why I want to do this Dungeons and Dragons style RPG Power Ranger game. Is because let's say we took Matthew, Larry, Jose, Layla, and somebody else. That they don't know how to work together as a team. So I think it'd be interesting to kind of explore that. And I just think it'd be a lot of fun. That's exactly why I want to do it.
But the power chamber blows up like it did in Turbo.
Yeah. I think you're onto something though, because I think that I do definitely want to, maybe we should do that for my birthday stream. We should do the Power Ranger board game on Zoom.
Yeah, we can, and we could definitely do that. That'd be a fun, just a fun way to hang out and stuff. Because I was thinking, even for the fans, we do a Jackbox game night, and we can do that through Zoom because a lot of that game is through your mobile anyway, so we can do that through Zoom, and those are always fun streams.
See, this is great. Even Blackwing says, if you guys play Heroes for the Grid live, he'll definitely watch. I actually think we should.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
What do you say? We want to do a Heroes for the Grid stream Friday night? Maybe we should make a layout with all of our...
Well, we have to learn the game first. Because remember how long it took the Game of Thrones one? I think that we'd benefit better if we knew some aspects of the game.
That is true. We have to schedule in a call with JD then.
And call him 5 hours ahead of time. It's wake up, motherfucker, wake up. Oh man.
But yeah, I think that that RPG idea, if I do it, because I'm actually gonna meet with JD about it, and me and Shay have already been kind of we have the guide of how we're adapting it. Mm-hmm. But I think if we do it correctly, with a lot of time granted, because I don't want to just be hey, we're gonna do this next week, so fans get ready. Next week it is. No, it's build up. Right now, it's just an idea that we're slowly forming to make sure that it would be pretty cool. And it's gonna take a lot of people's help. I'm sure Jezer would have to make the layout. Josh would have to kind of make sure that everything.
Is visible.
Tech-wise goes smooth, and then Shay and JD would really have to figure out gameplay. Then I'd have to figure out the story for that, and then the Rangers, whoever gets chosen to be Rangers from the Patreon, they would have to get really familiar with just the character before we start, and it'd be a whole thing. But I'm down to do it. Eventually, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And
though. Let's see. Do we have any more questions? What were you going to say, Jez? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Here's a question from Flash. Do you guys think Dino Fury will be a big change and a start of a new era, since Beast Morphers feels more like a transition series and is getting a new showrunner and everyone left from the Saban era?
I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't think it's going to be a big change. I think that the way that Beast Morphers isn't necessarily a transition season, I would go as far to say that Beast Morphers is more of a finale season for a lot of those folks that were at during the Saban era.
Yeah, I think with Dino Fury, nothing changes. Absolutely nothing. Same dynamic, same formula, same everything. Nothing changes.
Hey, got another question. Right now, the Blur, who is writing for us, says he's loving the chat so far. Here's a question for you guys. Do you like Rangers who battleize? I don't personally.
I do not.
Get out of here.
I do not. I do not like
Guys
battle
are lame. Get out.
Oh, you're a battleizer guy? I hate that stuff. That's why you had that stupid fucking toy, huh? When I saw you in the studio that
aggressive,
bro. Battleizer. That was freaking Cruz.
What the fuck is that? It was a dumb battleizer toy.
They made it a dumb toy. It wasn't a battleizer though.
It was a battleizer.
Okay. Sorry, Corey. Sorry. You know how long it takes to recycle plastic, my friend? So, yeah, I'm not a fan of battleizers. Corey, since you are, what's your favorite battleizer?
SPD battleizer and Ninja Storm battleizer. Those are my two favorites.
Storm battleizer.
We have a couple more questions that I really like. Sorry, I'm rubbing my eye. It's like itching. It's crazy. Do you think, this from Jose Alvarado, do you think they picked the Red Ranger to build around already for Dino Fury? No. They haven't. They're still doing open auditions. Another question I like is something about Cosmic Protectors. I just saw it.
Yeah, it's...
Can you guys speak about Cosmic Protectors, what it's all about? We absolutely can. Essentially, it is our own... Look, here's the best way to describe this. Me personally, this is being very candid with all of you. Me personally, I don't think Power Ranger Story is very good. I just don't. I haven't for quite a while. And I always thought to myself, well, if I'm going to go ahead and sit there and talk shit about it every week, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to just create kind of my own story. And I started doing that. And I started doing it little by little. And essentially, it's, to me, the Power Ranger universe that really people want. But it's going to be really all-encompassing because it's going to feature a lot of you guys that have always wanted to be Rangers. You guys have that opportunity in the Cosmic Protector universe. You guys have that, and we're also going to introduce Kamen Rider. Every tokusatsu, well, most tokusatsu that you can imagine, we're going to introduce it. And not even just Japanese tokusatsu. We're going to do it from all around the world and make sure that we have this big, shared, kind of like Power Ranger universe. We're also bringing back former Rangers, former villains, that are all going to play into it. Now, this is going to take place in the Power Ranger universe, but, you know, there's obviously going to be some differences where we are because our story is going to take place a little bit into the future. So, but it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of the Rangers we have coming back, it's going to be a lot of fun. Corey is going to be in Cosmic Protectors. He is going to be a Ranger. I have not yet let Corey know who he's going to be, but he does know about it.
You're going to be a Pink Ranger, bro. You're going to be one of the Pink Rangers.
Desert actually has a great character in Cosmic Protectors. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually most excited to write for Jezer's character than anything else. Blackwing says, this is a fun question for you guys. Which Illuminerdi cast member and Illuminerdi fan will you put together as a duo team?
Oh.
It's a great question. I would say Carlos Martinez and Jezer would be my first initial answer.
He's not a fan. Fuck Carlos Martinez. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Wow, that's aggressive. Who would you put together? That's a hard question.
Ooh, can I think? Let me think. Let me choose Josh. Okay, Josh.
Oh, and Thomas Franco. Yes, Josh and Thomas Franco. I like that.
Thomas Franco. All right. Blur
let's
says
see.
Jezer didn't like Geo, so will you be redoing that Rider series as well?
We're doing all the Rider series. And that's one thing I've been going back. And actually, Corey's been a tremendous help about this. Corey and Toku. So my creative team right now is Corey, myself, Toku, JD, and Brandon Zachary. We're the ones that are really kind of like doing this universe together.
Brandon Zachary.
The Kamen Rider stuff that I've been... So the way that it works, just to be very candid with you guys, is, oh, by the way, yes, that's a great question. Is it a book, live storytelling, animated show? What media is it for? It's going to be an audio comic. So you'll be able to see it all visual, but you'll also be able to hear everything that's going on. Yes, we will be having a theme song with it. We're going to do the whole nine. Anyway, back to this. The way that it works is that if certain people have ideas for certain things, for example, Toku's had a lot of ideas on certain Kamen Rider series. I'll just say Blades being one of them right now. We were able to like twist that and turn it into something completely different. Some of those series, though, where you're going to take one-to-one. Like, I went back and watched, oh, God, what was the name of it? What did I just watch? What was the Sentai that I was raving about like 2 weeks ago?
Sentai? You were raving about Jetman.
Jetman. I went back and watched Jetman, and I have a great way to adapt it, but a lot of the elements are going to stay the same because it's such a good series. So that's another thing, too. Would you guys like an evil ranger team as a main villain? We already have that plan for Cosmic Protectors. So we already have an evil... Dude, there's so many different teams that we have that you guys would not even expect that are so outside the box. But we're excited about all of them. We're very excited about all of them. And some of you guys are going to be rangers in it. Just check out our Patreon. And some of you guys are just like, I know I already told Matthew, I got him and Layla on deck. What is Jezzer wearing? What is that? That looks like that's a Casey Jones mask, but it looks like a protective facial mask that you would wear if your nose was broken.
Because DDT said, I want a cookie face DDT reunion. And I know DDT loves Casey Jones.
Hey, Jezzer, you got to get a haircut, bro.
Dude, I know, bro. I know this.
Hair's getting so long.
I know this already.
Let's see. Donnie Pearson says the first Power Ranger series in which its theme tune does not incorporate the original Go-Go theme tune was Power Rangers in Space. That is true. That is a fun fact. Am I looking for more writers for Cosmic Protectors? Honestly, kinda, yes. What I'm really looking for, though, is fill-in writers because Corey knows this. I've literally laid out like 3 seasons worth of story for them. And then they were like, we had a phone conference and I remember Toku was like, damn, you really thought this all the way through. And I was like, yeah, I have. I've even thought of like what I want to do with Tokuger. I already know what I want to do with Tokuger. I know what I want to do with Zooger. So there's a lot of seasons that aren't adapted that I know what I want to do with. Why you got that crazy look in your eye, bro?
I don't know, man. I'm drunk. A little drunk. A little tipsy.
Oh boy, this is probably where we should start ending the show. One question: would you put the Psychos and Squad A Rangers together? Funny fact: yes, I would. That is going to be happening in Cosmic Protectors. Just you wait. Josh says, I don't know what he's talking about.
Donnie Pearson says, looks like the Casey Jones mask from the 1990s. It is. It is. I fucking like it.
I think it's going to do it for us, guys, right?
Yep.
You guys.
It's good. It's a good show.
It was a good show.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited to get back to working on my Cosmic Protectors world.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate
So much fun. Hey, so tomorrow, though, we're going to be jam-packed. I want you guys to tune in for Retro Ranger Wrap-Up with Josh, Ellen, Daniel, and then join us at 8 p.m. tomorrow night for Illuminerdi Wrestling Order with Jay and myself.
Yeah.
Going deep cuts all about wrestling, but I can't wait. If you guys want more Cosmic Protector like content, or even us just talking about it, let us know, man. We'll do something fun for you guys because the project is really progressing, and I'm really excited for you guys to see it. But I think that's it, right? Corey, you got any final things?
No, not really.
Are you excited about Dino Fury? Honestly,
No, I'm just real neutral about it.
are you? Were you excited about the Sentai for it?
Huh?
Were you excited about the Sentai for it?
Yeah, I was excited when I seen they were going back to dinosaurs, but then like I said, I'm in mid-season. It's real boring, so I haven't finished it yet. I haven't been motivated to finish it.
DDT coming in for wrestling tomorrow. Thank you so much, buddy. Layla, she wants to know if we can do an After Dark for Cosmic Protectors. Yeah, it's possible. Ronald Doe, are you thinking about giving Squad A proper suits for Cosmic Protectors or leaving them in paintball gear? To tell you the truth, I'm going to leave them in paintball gear. Actually, I don't know yet. I haven't thought. I know how I want to use them. I don't know if I'm going to give them suits. So who knows? If the Patreon gets back to 100 a month, you guys going to do AMA sessions? You're goddamn right, I will. But you'll see, because Josh and I are meeting tomorrow about the Patreon, and it'll be all new terms for you guys. So it'll be a lot. It's just going to be a lot more easier to follow along. And the Patreon won't be just for Cosmic Protectors anymore. It's going to be for all of our Power Ranger content across the board. So that means if you guys want to do, like, if Corey wants to do a watch along with fans, guess what? That'll be one of the things. If Jezzer wants to do a watch along for a particular episode with fans, that'll be a Patreon. If you want to do a Q&A with me or Josh, that'll be a Patreon. So we'll have different things that you guys can. It'll just be a lot different than what we're doing now. But we appreciate you guys for supporting us. Jezzer, why don't you close us out?
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us on your Saturday. Like we say every week, you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us, and we truly, truly do appreciate it. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you know when we go live. Make sure you check out all the articles on theilluminerdi.com. Check out all our social medias. They're at the bottom right there, as they are always. And hit up that Facebook group, because that's where we're going to give you all the up-to-date news on all our live streams and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. Where can we find Corey? Where can we find you at on social media?
C Gibson Rex, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram.
And Joe?
You can find me everywhere at Joe Illuminerdi on all social media, and tomorrow right here on the Illuminerdi's YouTube channel.
And you can find me on all social media at Jezzerzoos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good Saturday. Hope you guys have a good Sunday, and see you back next week.
Later, guys.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up? What's going on?
It's going well. Especially since I got this guy in the mail.
Nice!
It took me forever to find him. Really looking forward to putting him in some, like, cool poses and take some pictures with him.
Oh, sure.
What was that?
What was what?
That reaction. What was that reaction?
What reaction?
You're, sure.
Nothing. It's nothing.
Just tell me. Spit it.
I can pose my figures better than you.
Really? Want to prove it?
Let's do it.